Hello and a very warm welcome to Lucknow in India, where it's semi-finals day in the 2019 Syed Modi International. Decent atmosphere building up in the indoor stadium here, and you'll see 6 matches live. We're in Asia, around about 400 kilometers from New Delhi, if you know your Indian geography. And as I say, 6 semi-finals back to back, and you will have the best seat in the house. More a case really of where we haven't been than where we have in 2019 as we come to the conclusion of the season. Starting in Asia, then we went to Europe, to Spain, to England, Switzerland. We've been down under, we've been stateside, back to Asia, and of course everything concludes with those World Tour finals in Guangzhou in just under a fortnight's time, just before Christmas. Here's what we have for you today, starting with the men's doubles. We'll see the top seeds, Han and ZHOU, against Koreans CHOI and SEO, who also made the semis in Korea last weekend, by the way. Then we'll see the home hope, Rituparna Das, playing only her 13th match this year. She takes on the Thai teenager, Pitayapon Chaiwon, in the women's singles. More doubles to follow. Bai and Jung from Korea will start favourites against a Hong Kong-China pair playing their 50th match this season, would you believe? Men's singles after that, the former world number 1, Song Wan-ho, taking on Wang Zhuwei of Chinese Taipei, the latter bidding for a first final in 2 years. 2 singles to conclude. The brilliant Spaniard Carolina Marin continues her impressive comeback from injury against Kim Ga-eun of Korea, before we finish off with Surab Verna, sure to have the home crowd behind him, versus former junior world champion Yeo Kwang Hee. That's what's coming up then. And here's how the draw for the men's doubles has panned out. You can see CHOI and SEO, they got a walkover effectively against the Danes yesterday, so they had a day off effectively, although the top seeds needed 3 games to dispose of Ivanov and Sozanov of Russia, the number 8 seeds, in their quarter-final. It remains to be seen whether having a day off yesterday will be an advantage for CHOI and SEO. We'll see very shortly, and as you can see now, the players making their way towards number 1 court. We've got 2 courts in action today. We are concentrating on the main TV court, court number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the umpire, Nakriya Adirisinha, Sri Lanka. Service judge,
just gone 2 o'clock local time in the afternoon.
A big hand for Han Cheng Kai, ZHOU Dong, China. Let's join our hands again for Chow Sol-gyu and Seo Seung-chae, Korea.
We do have some Indian representation in some of our semis on court 1, so obviously the crowd will be up for those matches in particular, but we've got some enthralling contests, particularly looking forward to seeing Carolina Marin later on. Just the one previous meeting, that was earlier this year down under, and CHOI and SEO coming through in 3 games, so the number 1 seeds, absolutely no gimmies to win this opening semi-final. Badminton in this part of the world vies for popularity with the likes of cricket and football and hockey, but it's a big sport here. We've had 1 tournament in Delhi already in 2019. This, the last regular event of the season before the World Tour finals. There's Han. They're ranked 8 in the world, as you can see. They were up at number 5. That was only in July. And they've won just over half their matches this year as a pair. They're actually the boys' doubles world champions back in 2016, as we look at ZHOU Dong. Superb season last year they had. They took down the French Open. That was a Super 750 event. They made the final in the Chinese Open. That was a Super 1000 tournament. Because of that, they won the Most Promising Players of the Year award. There's their path to the final. I mentioned they had a bit of a battle in the quarter-final, 3 games against the Russians. Other than that, it's been plain sailing. And their opponents on the other side of the net from Korea, ZHOU, who's 24 now, seeded 3. Wouldn't take too much notice of that ranking because they were 7 just last week and they got to the semi-finals in the Korea Masters. There's ZHOU, he's a couple of years younger than his partner. They were actually the defending champions in Gwangju. They've had 2 walkovers and a 33-minute second round match, so hard to gauge their current form, I guess, this week, just the 1 match. Remains to be seen if that will help them or not. Just about ready for the player introductions. There's Vishali Upadhyay from India, the service judge. Lapriya Edirasinghe from Sri Lanka is the chair umpire, and he'll be making the player announcements very short.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Cheng Kai-han and Hai Dong-zhou, China. And on my left, Sergio Choi and Seong Jae-seo, Korea. Cheng Kai-han to serve to Seong Jae-seo. Love all. Play.
So first shuttle hit in anger on semi-finals day. Just a reminder also, as the Chinese get a little bit of good fortune. Didn't come back on the right side of the net for them though. Just a reminder that each pair has 2 challenges. We have Hawkeye in operation here. And if a challenge is successful, then you keep it. That was nicely placed. Very deft touch from ZHOU. Hard to know which of these pairs you'd make favourite here, actually. Well, there's a statement of intent. Cho Hao-dong absolutely powered that. Well, it was great defence from the Koreans. They almost did the hard work. And then Seo Seung-jae rather blotted the copybook with the error. It looks like we could be in for some entertaining rallies in this men's double semi. Very, very solid at the net, Cho Hao-dong, and he's got great disguise too. One of the easier kills he'll have this afternoon. Well, that was really well set up by ZHOU. Completely fooled the Chinese pair with that shot. Set up a very easy put away. Don't think this is going to be a match that'll feature too many 30, 40, 50 shot rallies. But it's not all about power with these 4 either. Some really clever placement we've seen already in the opening couple of minutes. Just missed it wide.
5-3.
Well, punch and counter punch at the moment.
Service over, 4-5. Can the shuttle?
저희가 상단에 서는 건 좌우를 먼저 한번 해놓고 올려야 돼.
Or maybe a tad too deft for his own good there.
6-4.
Han at the net. Yeah, well, he picked off the serve, and after that, it was plain sailing in that point, really.
5-6.
Koreans always playing second fiddle.
Service over, 7-5.
Really deft touch
Service over,
at the net from ZHOU.
6-7. Seven all.
Well, scoreline that probably reflects pretty accurately what we've seen so far. Nothing between these two pairs. Never been more than a couple of points in it. I think that net battle might be absolutely key, especially between ZHOU and Han.
Nine, 7.
Just
10,
starting to get the upper hand, maybe. CHOI and ZHOU. As much outthinking their opponents as outplaying them, with the variety of shot. But you can't give Hen Shenkai those kind of opportunities.
8, 10. Change the shuttle.
From mid-court, almost on the service line. Nigh on impossible to defend.
Fault.
Well, that's a
Service
decent
11, 8,
first
interval.
6 or 7 minutes for CHOI and ZHOU, who have a 3-point advantage at the mid-game interval.
Twenty seconds. 20 seconds. Eleven, 8, play. Service over, 9, 11.
Well, that was a good gamble
Service
from
over,
ZHOU
12-9.
off the serve.
Fault, server, undue delay. Service over, 10-12. Undue delay. You cannot delay the service.
Cheap point with the service point for the Chinese pair. Can they capitalise? Went for the flicker.
Service over, 13-10. Service over, 11-13.
So both pairs trying a little bit of serve variation. This is ZHOU serving now.
Twelve, 13.
Rare miscue
13 all.
from ZHOU, so we're back level again. It was slightly awkward, but he would have expected to have made it. Oh, terrific shot. Top class.
14, 13.
Han Chen Kai comes to the party in emphatic style.
Service over.
Too good from
14
ZHOU.
all.
So effective right at the body. Absolutely nothing that ZHOU could do about it. Second time he's fooled him with the
15,
serve.
14.
Beautiful disguise again from ZHOU.
16, 14.
And just when you got the feeling that the Chinese pair were battling back, the Koreans assert again. Well, that was a really good chance. They're going to challenge this.
You want to challenge?
From here, it looked to me like it was long, but they want to have a look.
Choice your
And I guess
challenges
this
all
deep
out.
in a game, when you've got two challenges, you may as well. I actually think this was a great opportunity. So much space to place the shuttle. Didn't have to go for the back line. And to the naked eye appeared to be long, but Hawkeye will be the sole arbiter. Yeah, long by a distance.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. Service over. 15-16. Play.
He's unforgiving from the back of the court. Choi Sol-yu
15.
actually made his name initially as a mixed doubles player. Won a couple of mixed doubles titles at the Korean Masters way back when.
Service over. 16, 17. Change the shuttle.
What a chance. You can see the stamp of frustration from Ham Cheng Lai.
18, 16.
That was a glorious opportunity. So what should have been 17 all now has the Koreans just 3 points away from the game. Well, it's a skill in itself when you've
16.
made an error, just to shut it out. So here are 4 game points.
Game point 16.
For Choi and ZHOU. Comfortably in, always that
Service
effective
over.
place to put it, right
17,
between your
20.
opponents. Still game points though. Well, how simple was that? Read the serve, directed the shuttle into space, and that's the opening game for Choi Sul-gyu, ZHOU Sun-jae, 21 points to 16. 17, correction.
Seconds. 20 seconds. Second game, low ball, play.
So the Koreans trying to secure this game, and with it the place in tomorrow's final, and a 2-0 record against these opponents. Well, great defence again from Choi and ZHOU, and they must be frustrating this Chinese pair. I don't think Han and Zhou are playing badly.
Low. Change the shuttle.
Well, a few mistakes just starting to creep in now. Han and ZHOU. Not the start they wanted in this second game, having dropped the opener. Well, that's great team play. Really is. Was set up by CO, finished off by CHOI. Well, that's twice they've gone for the flicker, and twice it has palpably failed, so maybe they'll abandon that particular tactic. And Han and ZHOU on the board in this second game. Han again, culpable.
5-1.
And they are so closely matched that too many of those kind of errors will make the difference. At the body, almost impossible to return. Well, it's great speed and dexterity from ZHOU there, on one side of the net to the other. Let's watch him here. Just saw the end of it, but he was making meters and meters from one side of the net to the other.
Service over. 3-6.
It's better.
4-6.
That was the biter bit. More than one occasion, CHOI and ZHOU have found an unguarded area of the court. All the way around that occasion.
Halt. 5-6.
Everyone needs a little bit of good fortune. Net cord made it impossible.
Halt. Service over. 7-5.
So quick to pounce on anything. That kind of length here.
8-5.
It was all ZHOU could do to even get it back the other side of the net. No chance to respond to the jump smash.
Service over. 6-8. Change the shuttle.
Match on court 2. Women's doubles. Linda Effler and Isabel Hertrich, Germany.
Well, that was nigh on perfect doubles play from CHOI and ZHOU. Literally every shot in that rally, textbook.
Iran. Service judge Lawrence Bester, Republic of South Africa.
Finished right between Han and ZHOU. Well, they really had absolutely no right to win that point. It's a desperate defensive play, but it was wonderful resistance from the Koreans, and they got their just reward. And the Chinese pair must be wondering what on earth they have to do to get the better of their opponents this afternoon. There is also a psychological scenario. They've only played the once before, but until you've beaten a specific pair, there is that nagging doubt. By far the longest rally of the match, 41 shots. A bit of anger in that, I think, from ZHOU.
7-10.
But they're still well within range in this second game. Just got to keep believing. Well, potentially big point this. Could be a 4-point interval lead. Or not.
플레이. 2구 빨리 맞아. 근데 라켓 헤드 들고 받아야 돼.
Well, they'll be happy enough, I reckon, with a 3-point advantage, Choi and ZHOU. You'd have to say their match to lose from this position at the mid-game interval. Maybe guilty of just being a little bit too ornate. ZHOU there, trying to get too much of an angle. Just snatched that in a fraction, didn't he? Trying to whip it cross court on the backhand. Oh, how much power is there in that? That was fierce. Almost brought a smile from his coach as well. Went for that angle, that same angle again, and he got too much of an angle. Just wide. Oh, that's beautifully placed. That really was a clever shot. Well, that is a little careless. It'll be below 1.15 metres. That wasn't called by the service judge. There's perspex structures to help her determine the height of the serve. Just can't seem to string a run of successive points together, Han and Zhou. Not so far. Now would be a good time to change that. Coaching with intent, says Hyung Jae. They've thrown a few of those in. Will they live to regret it? A couple of service errors in the last 3 points now. Well done. Subtlety, creativity.
16-13.
First time the flicker's paid off, and starting to have a bit of an ominous look, this scoreboard now, for the Chinese pair. Top seeds in trouble here after, what, only barely half an hour's play. Well, that was a very welcome net cord to help set Han and Zhou up to win that point. Clever angle that from Zhou. Just too many errors, that's been the story. And the Koreans just a couple of points away now from taking out the top seeds. I'm sure exactly where that hit him, somewhere around the throat, I think. It's fine. So here are 4 match points for Choi and ZHOU.
20, match point 16.
Well, that was really straightforward, somewhat surprisingly so. 21-16 in the second game, in a match that lasted just over half an hour. The top seeds are gone. Choi Sol-gyu and Seo Seung-jae march on to tomorrow's final. And you would suspect they might be hard to stop from taking this title. Disappointing from Han and Joe, not their best day at the office by any means. And the final point rather summed up a meek display from the top seeds. (21-17, 21-16) in 34 minutes on court. Stay with us. Women's singles up next. Well, it was great defence. Well, how simple was that? Well, how simple was that? Well, great defence again. Well, that's great team play. Well, it's great speed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the technical officials for the next match of part 1 for women's singles.
We've had a pretty rapid men's doubles match, maybe far quicker than most people would have anticipated, but nonetheless, it was hugely entertaining.